Hi Sunshine, I'm Dawn here with Get Active TV. I hope you've all got your mats ready and a bottle of water. We are going to do some yoga today, right? But we are going to work on not just our flexibility. The way we're going to do our practice today, we're going to be able to jolt our cardiovascular system. We're going to work on our mobility, strength, and of course, flexibility. For the earlier half, we are going to be working up a bit of a sweat. So do have a small towel handy if you do tend to perspire a fair bit. But I promise you we're going to be relaxing at the later half. So do get your mats all rolled out and let's get started. First off, I'd like to remind everybody to just keep active every day. We do have a lineup of stuff coming up from Get Active. So do stay tuned this afternoon if you have no time to join me this morning. You can still get a stretch this afternoon with my friend Natalie. And then we also have a cooking show tomorrow, so stay tuned for those of you who do like to prepare healthy meals at home. And then on Friday, join my friend Cheryl, who's going to be leading you guys through a more cardiovascular workout. Get your skipping ropes ready. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to start off in a seated position first. No doubt I told you we're going to be working on our cardiovascular system, we're going to work on our strength system. The breathing is a very important component of a yoga practice, and without that, you're really not getting the full benefits of your practice at all. Breathing is one of the visceral functions compared to digestion, compared to your cardiovascular system, compared to your endocrine system, compared to a few other things that we cannot really control that affects our body in such a profound way. The way we breathe here can actually help our bodies to relax, or it can take you into fight or flight mode, which is what we do subconsciously most of the time. So how I want to encourage you to breathe first, all right, is in through the nose and out through the nose in a relaxed fashion. But we are going to count for 4 in and 4 out. So let's calm ourselves down first, finding yourselves in a cross-legged seated position. And if this is not comfortable for some of you, for several reasons, find yourselves in a diamond leg sit instead, or have a cushion or a small stool ready for you to be seated here for just about a minute. Right? So I'd like you to just take your awareness to your breathing. And if it helps, close your eyes, or maybe even look at the tip of your nose. It does help us to stimulate the part of our brain that's responsible for focus and concentration. But if you can just close your eyes, it does help to take away our sight and take us more aware, bring us to more awareness of our breathing. Sight can be very distracting, right? So just for 1 minute, I'd like you to take your time to breathe in through the nose without tensing the shoulders, and breathe out through your nose without tensing your shoulders and face. We're going to repeat this together 4 times, but I'm going to count for you on the breath in and the breath out. This slows down your breathing, but it also calms you down as well. Right? So close your eyes, center your head over your shoulders, over your hips, where you will not feel a strain around the neck and the back. And let's begin. Inhaling, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Twice more. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, breathe to the belly. 3, 2, 1. One more round. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. We won't be able to breathe in such a deep way, for such a long duration when we start to move. But I want you to still be conscious of not shallow breathing. Now, when the going gets tough here, when we start to move here, I'd like you to engage your inner core a lot more by using your breath. How we do that is by trying this out first. Inhaling through your nose. And when you breathe out, open your mouth. Like you're trying to fog up the mirror. But this time, mouth closed. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. And it does sound like Darth Vader is breathing near you. This is what we call ocean breath. And for some of us, we do feel more calm when we think of it as the gentle crashing of the waves at the ocean as well. So I want to encourage you to breathe this way when we start to move. If you forget, breathe normal, it's okay. Just don't be holding your breath because it stimulates that fight or flight response in us that causes more tension, right? And it's very difficult to work the muscles and the body in a beneficial way when you breathe that way. So let's come into an interlocked position with the fingers first. Rounding your backs, shoulder blades reaching back, and the knuckles reach forwards. As you inhale, press your hands forwards and up. I just want to stretch across the front side of the chest, the torso, and the fingers. As you exhale, round your back. So let's do that again just one more time, all right? Inhale, gently warming up the upper spine, stretching across the chest and the hands. Exhale, round the back. And let's come into all fours now, with your palms below your shoulders and your knees below your hips. Spreading all 10 fingers, we're going to have your index fingers point more forwards and your knees taken hip-width distance apart. Now you notice that I'm not sagging my weight down towards my hands. In fact, I'm pushing away from the ground. And you'll hear me say this a couple of times when we start to move and balance and hold poses. Push or extend. The moment we do that, you'll notice that the joints become a lot more supported. And that's what I'll need you to do quite a fair bit, right? Or get used to. So we're going to inhale, arch your back and look up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, round your back, tuck your chin in towards your chest. Look towards your stomach if you can. Inhale, opening across the front side of your body from your chin to your tailbone. And then exhale, reverse that. We're just gently warming up the muscles around the torso, around the core, waking up the spine. 2 more times. Inhaling, using the back muscles, we open across the front side. Exhale, now do a crunch here, including the chin towards the chest movement to stretch the back of the body. Now let's come back to a neutral position. We're going to tuck your toes here and lift your hips up and back into a downward facing dog position. Just take one baby step back from me first, right? For many of you, you'll feel inclined to keep your feet flat on the ground for down dog. There's no need to, right? What I want you to feel instead is a stretch along the back of your legs as well as that length through your spine. For some of us, if your hamstrings, the back of your legs are a bit too tight and you start to round your backs here, I'd like you to bend your knees so you feel more length through the spine instead. And if you can still do that with the leg straight, great. But make sure you feel the benefits of whatever pose that you're doing instead of just trying to form a shape, all right? So I'll tell you what I need you to feel. I'll tell you where we're working or where we're stretching. And I need you to try to adjust till you feel that. Now look forwards. We're going to step baby steps towards the front. Right foot, left foot. Right foot, left foot. At some point, some of you are going to bend your knees, and that's okay. Now we come towards the front of your mat. Have your feet hip-width distance apart and just have your hands dangling, have your hands on opposite elbows and just dangle your spine here. You're in a forward fold right now. For some of you, you're going to need to bend your knees, and some can straighten the legs and still maintain length through the spine without feeling pain to the low back. So understand that there is no one size fits all. You're going to have to choose a position that works best for you, right? So I'll give you options. Option 1, option 2. Option 1 will always be easier. Option 2 will always be harder. You decide which one to work at, right? Now, dangle your arms down. We've just elongated the spine. We just warm up the spine, warm up the back of the leg, stretching it out gently. We're going to take 2 full breaths to come up to a stand. Inhale, exhale to halfway and just dangle it there. 1 more breath. Inhale, exhale, all the way to the top. Bring your feet together, heel toe. And this is where we're going to start your next series of movements, what we call the sun salutations. This is where we finish the rounds as well. So have your big toes come together to touch. As you inhale, I'd like you to reach both arms up. Look up towards the ceiling if you can. Now exhale, come back to that forward fold we were just in. Once again, bend your knees if you have to. Now look forwards. Inhale. Try to maintain a flat back this way. Exhale and then forward fold. Look at your knees. Step back, right leg. Inhale. Left leg follows as well. Exhale. Come into one straight line here. Let everybody lower your knees down and your chest chin will follow as you lean forward slightly as well. Draw an arc with your nose. Inhale and come into a cobra. Cobra is going to be option 1, alright? Tuck your toes and let's come into knees first and then lift your hips up and back to come into downward facing dog. So for beginners, you're going to repeat these options that I just showed you. Along the way, I'll give you options to make it harder. Take them if it feels right for you. Look forwards. Right foot steps in and then guide it forwards if you need to. If your foot didn't go to the front, guide it forwards. Left foot follows, feet to the front. Forward fold. Inhale. Everybody come up all the way once again. Hands to heart center. We're going to repeat this again 7 more times. Inhale. Reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale. Now remember, breath guides movement. Left leg back. Inhale. Right leg back. Exhale. Let's lower our knees. Chest, chin. Press forwards and up. Option 2, if you want to go up higher to a higher cobra or an up dog, go for it. Exhale. Tuck your toes and come into downward facing dog. Look forwards. Left foot steps in. Right foot follows. Feet to the front. Forward fold. Inhale. Coming up all the way. Hands to heart center. Let's go again. Inhale. Reach your arms up. Exhale. Forward fold. Halfway lift. In. Forward fold. Out. Right leg back. In. Left leg back. Out. Now let's add on your gaze. Lower your knees if you have to. Lean forwards, chest, chin. We're going to look to the front edge of your mat. Now press forwards and up. We're going to try to look up towards the ceiling if you can. Tuck your toes and come into downward facing dog. Look at your feet. These positions where we look at are going to help us to align our neck optimally as well. Look forwards. Right foot steps in. Left foot follows. Feet to the front. Forward fold. Inhale. Coming up all the way. And hands to heart center. Exhale. Let's repeat. And you should feel the body start to warm up already. Exhale. Almost the whole body here. Inhale. Look forwards. Exhale. Forward fold. Left leg back. Inhale. Big step. Exhale. Right leg follows. Come into one straight line. High plank. Lower your knees. Lean forwards. Chest, chin. Now press forwards and up. Look up towards the ceiling if you can. Tuck your toes. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Just making sure that you have your neck long on either side here. Look forwards. Right foot steps in. Left foot follows. Feet to the front. Take extra steps if you need to so you're at the front of your mat. Inhale. Coming up all the way. Exhale. Let's do this 4 more times. And you should feel your heart rate go up. This is where I was talking about the cardiovascular system getting stimulated as well. Inhale. Halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Right leg goes back. Inhale. Left leg goes back. Exhale. I'm pushing strongly into the floor with my hands. Knees off for option 2, alright? Lower down. Press forwards and up. Inhale. Tuck your toes. Exhale and come into downward facing dog. Right foot steps in. Land soft like a cat. Left foot follows. Feet to the front. Forward fold. Inhale. Coming up all the way. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go for 3 more rounds together. Inhale, opening across the front side of the body. Exhale, stretching the back of the legs, back of the torso. Inhale. Maintain long, flat back. If you have to, bend your knees, forward fold. Left leg step back. Inhale, sink your hips. We're stretching across front side here. Right leg follows. Come into one straight line. Engage your core. Lower your knees. Lean forwards, chest, chin. I'm going to gaze to the front of the mat. Press forwards and up. Look up. Exhale. Tuck your toes. Come back to downward facing dog. Left foot steps in. Guide it forwards if you have to. Right leg follows. Exhale. You're back at the front of the mat. Inhale. We have 2 more rounds here to go. Exhale. Hands to heart center. Inhale. Reach your arms up. Forward fold. Try not to rush through the movements. Halfway lift. Inhale. Breath guides speed of movement. Forward fold. Right leg step back. Inhale. Spread your fingers. Left leg follows. Exhale. One straight line. Option 2, you guys know what to do. You can always keep your knees off as we lower down. Press forwards and up. Open across front side of the body. Tuck your toes. Exhale. Come into downward facing dog. Right leg forwards. Inhale. Left leg follows. Exhale. Inhale. Coming up all the way. Hands to heart center. 1 last round together. Inhale. Remember, exhale. You have to keep monitoring your own resistance. Inhale. We all have to start from somewhere. Forward fold. So if you need to take breaks in between, do that. Left leg step back. Right leg follows. Exhale. Option 2, stay knees up. Option 1, follow me. Knees, chest, chin. Draw an arc with your nose. Stretch from chin to toes. Exhale, tuck your toes and come into downward facing. Left foot steps forwards. Right leg follows. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming up all the way. And then take your hands back to heart center. Relax your shoulders and just quietly observe your breathing. Observe your heart rate. We're going to start off with your next standing posture. Warrior 1. Hands on the hips. Spread all 10 fingers. Big toes are touching at the front of your mat. Left foot, take a big step back. So if you need to, widen your stance. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle the front foot. Or take one more baby step back with your rear leg. What I want you to do is now position your hips so that they square more towards the front. But if it doesn't, that's fine. Just do it to your best ability. I'm going to bend my front knee. I'm going to keep my knee above my ankle as much as possible. And watch my back foot. The toes are turned in. So it's not out to the back, it's slightly turned in. All right, keep that back leg straight, the front leg bent. Now everybody, let's hug a tree first, all right? So what I want you to feel here as you hug a tree is the engagement of your baby crunching muscles. So once we have that switched on, it's going to help to protect your lower back a lot better, especially for those of you who suffer from low back pain. Option, you can keep your arms here, or without moving your torso, move your arms from your shoulders. Start to extend your arms up towards the ceiling and keep that front knee bent. If you're okay with balancing here, everybody look up towards the ceiling. All right, hold it out here and let's stay there. Total 8 breaths, all right? But we're going to hold it here for another 5 and 4. Reach your fingers up but sink your hips down. 3. I want you to try to imagine creating more space between your hips and your ribs. Just one more breath here. Everybody, let's take our hands behind us. Interlock your fingers. I want you to feel that stretch across the front side of your chest. And as you exhale, take a bow. Head comes closer towards the ground. Now, I'm not resting my torso against my thigh. I want to lower my head closer to the ground. So you only go as low as your body allows you to. If it's halfway, that's fine. But raise your arms up and then lower the chest down. For those who can go much lower, we're going to stay there for another 4. So again, it's about 8 breaths as well. 3, 2, 1 more breath. Relax your neck. And then very slowly, press down on that front foot to come back up. Hands on your hips. Let's take a step forward. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Right leg steps back. Big step. Adjust if you have to, so your hips are squared more towards the front of your mat. And this is where the strengthening part of your practice comes in. Back leg, turn the toes in. Front knee bends over ankles. Arms reach forwards first. Just hug that imaginary tree and switch on our inner weight training belts. And then from your shoulders, raise your arms up. Lower the hips. If you can, look up towards the ceiling. Now notice that I'm not dropping my head back. I want to maintain length and space on the back of the neck. So if you have to, you look straight ahead instead. Gaze to a point where it helps you to still maintain the back of your neck having length. For another 3. Again, we try to hold for about 8 breaths in one position. 2. 1 more breath. And I'm still using Ujjayi breathing here. All right, now take your hands behind you, interlock your fingers, press your palms against one another, and then take a bow towards the front as you exhale lower. So some of you may just come down halfway, and some of you may go down lower. Stay there for 6 more breaths. And 5. And I'm not resting my torso against my thigh, so I'm really using strength in my legs and my core to hold me here. For another 3. So you don't have to go too far. 2. Go to the point where you feel the benefits. Remember, 1 more breath. And then very slowly press down on that front leg to come back up. Hands on your hips. Step forward. Feet together. Shake your legs out. So I'm going to leave you guys to take a short break. Take a sip of water. Towel yourselves down. And I'm going to see you in a short while. you guys managed to get a short sip of water, something to hydrate yourselves before we begin for the next segment. So I'm still going to try to keep your heart rate up after that 1 minute or so of resting. Let's try to do something dynamic, right? So we're going to start off once again at the front of your mat. Your right leg stays in front. I want you to take a big step back with your left foot. Now watch, I'm turning my back toes in once again. My front knee or my right leg is bent, knee over ankle. If you need to, take a baby step in. If you have to, if you can, I'd like you to take a wider stance. What we're going to do here is a combination of a warrior, okay? So we're going to go from warrior 2 to a reverse warrior. Now I just did 1 repetition of that. If you can, we're going to go for 8 altogether, non-stop. So sit it down low, right? Gaze towards your right fingertips. As you inhale, turn your front palm up, extend forwards just slightly, and as you inhale, reverse your warrior. Go back further if you can. As you exhale, come back to warrior 2 once again. Turn your front palm up, lean forward slightly, inhale, reverse warrior. If you can, slide your back hand down a bit more. Exhale, come back down to warrior 2 once again. Round 3. Inhale, extend back. I like what this does. Exhale to work the spine in a side-to-side fashion. Turn the front palm up for 4. Inhale. So it kind of helps me to massage my internal organs as well. Exhale. And 5. Side bending, side movements are not something we do often enough throughout the day. Exhale, and movement is therapy. Last 3, inhale. So what I like about this is also exhale, how it helps to massage the joints in the spine. 2 more times, and that helps to lubricate the joints, right? 1 last one here. Inhale, extend it back. And then exhale, coming back to warrior 2 once again. So we're going to go into a balancing movement here right now. Hands on your hips. I'm going to step the back foot in towards the front. Left foot to the front of the mat. Now let's find ourselves just a little baby step backwards. So you just have enough room in the front as well. I'm going to spread all 10 toes. I'm going to take my hands on my hips first. But I want to keep my right hip and my left hip at the same plane as I start to lean forwards, right? Only as far as you can while still trying to keep your legs straight and your back is not rounded. So for some of you who can go to the point where your chest comes down to hip height, and then everybody raise your left leg up behind you. Option 1, watch. Big toe can continue to touch the ground if you have difficulty balancing. If you can, raise your left leg up in the air to about hip height. And then we're going to extend your arms out to the side, like airplane wings, right? So we're going to balance a tray of tea on your back, and we're holding it here for 8 breaths, right? 7. You're still breathing, but look, eyes are looking down towards the mat. For another 5. So I'd like you to make sure that you're not holding your breath here. 4. At the beginning of today's practice, I told you to press into the ground. 3. Do that with your standing foot now. 2, and it helps you to switch on the muscles that support your joints. 1 more breath here, and then very slowly come back up onto both feet once again. So for those of you who are fairly new to practicing balancing, you can always hold onto a wall, a chair, a table, something near you to help you with balancing first. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Don't be surprised, it's going to feel a little different. Right and left leg, we have that dominant side. Right, spread all 10 toes. Lean forwards once again, trying not to round your back. Switch on your inner weight training belts. Right leg goes back. If you need to, continue to touch the ground with that big toe if you can. Raise that leg up to hip height. I know you can't see, but just take it up to your best ability, alright? Arms out, and let's stay there for another 7 more breaths. Keeping your belly wall firm, but you're still breathing. Ujjayi breathing. 6. In through the nose, out through the nose. 5. That sound you create with your breath also helps you to become more aware of your breathing. 4. This way of breathing also helps you to somewhat switch on your inner weight training belts. 3. Keep pushing into the floor with that standing leg. Energize that floating leg as well. 2 more breaths here. And 1 last one. And then very slowly coming back up to a stand. So that stretches and works the back of our legs. Very important part of our bodies that we tend to shorten due to very long hours of sitting. We're going to come closer towards the ground now. So everybody towards the front of your mat. I'm going to have you just fold down, hands down towards the ground. Bend your knees if you have to, right? So we're going to go into left leg stepping back, right leg stepping back. Now, this is a position that you were in earlier for your high plank, for your push-up position. Spreading all 10 fingers, look at how the shoulders are not sagging down. If you can see the upper back, my shoulder blades, they're kind of flat out here, right? So I don't start winging, okay? Push into the ground strongly to switch on the muscles that support your shoulders, your back. Now, when I start to press my hips up and back, right, I'm still using those same muscles on my upper back here to go into downward facing dog. We're going to combine this movement together with a tucked toes, upward facing dog. So all I need to do is to switch between these two movements 8 times, right? I'm still pushing into the ground here. So as you exhale, let's everybody lift your hips up and back into down dog. Inhale, move slow, right, at the speed of your breath. So the end of your movement is somewhat the end of your breath. Exhale, take it up and back. Inhale, and forwards. Let's do this together again, 6 more times. Exhale, lift hips up and back. Inhale, forwards, and try to look up. And 5. And inhale. General rule of thumb, exhale as you fold. Inhale as you open. And let's do 3 more here. Exhale, hips up and back. Inhale, look up. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale. And then 1 more time. Exhale. Inhale. Lift gaze. And then everybody, let's go back into downward facing dog. Once again, lower your knees down towards the ground and sit back on your heels to rest in child's pose. We're going to take our hands behind us at the same time, right? Resting the forehead towards the ground. Just allow your hips to sink down towards your heels. Let the lower back just relax for a bit here. 1 more breath. And then very slowly roll yourselves to come up. We're going to position our hips in the center of the mat this time round. Now, I want to encourage those of you who have difficulty or discomfort whenever you do sit-up kind of movements to just have your folded up towel placed where your tailbone will be, because we are going to be balancing here. Right? Now, if you don't have a towel, you can always have your mat folded up this way, like so, for extra padding. And you can see that I now have 3 layers instead of just 1. Right? So take the options if you need to. Alright, now if you don't need to fold up the mat or have a towel underneath for cushioning, like I don't, alright, then all I need you to do is to now lean back, float your feet up. So watch me first, right? I'm going to try to keep my inner corset, my inner weight training belt engaged. As I now inhale, extend both arms and legs away, exhale, and then I take it back to start. So here's the start. We're going to reach for here and come back again. We're going to be working your core here quite a fair bit. I'm going to do that together 8 times. If you can only do 4, you just start with 4. Maybe the next time you do this again, you do 5. And then the next time you do 6, right? So take your time to build up, right? But in general, let's try to go for 8 repetitions, right? If you don't have any issues. So let's get ready. Belly wall firm, like somebody wants to poke you when you're getting ready for it. And then inhale, extend your arms up, legs forwards. Exhale, pull it back in. And 2, I'm still doing Ujjayi breathing. Exhale. And 3, now keep your neck long as you raise your arms up, all right? Exhale. And 4, so if you can't bring your arms up that high, option 1, you can always have your hands just come up halfway, all right? And 4, and exhale. And last 4 to go, and out. And 3, and out. And 2, exhale. 1 more time. Inhale, extending up. And then exhale, coming back to place your feet down towards the ground. Wrap your chest over your thighs. I'm going to do one more core exercise here. All right, it's similar to what we just did. All right, so we are going to be finishing in a boat pose, but we go into a low boat. So this is where we start. This is where we go. Here to here. So for those of you who know what sampan is, okay, or a canoe, we go into a canoe, and then we go into a topper. Okay, so just a narrow boat and a really wide flat one. We're going to go 8 times as well, right? So get ready. And inhale, we're going to lower down. And then exhale, come back up to start. And 2. Now everybody keep your neck long, so reach your fingers forwards. Exhale, coming back to start. And 3. Now imagine if I gave you a $100 bill. Exhale and I place it between your knees. Don't drop it. 4. Inhale. And exhale up. And 5. Inhale. And exhale up. And 6, inhale, low boat, exhale, high one. Last 2, and up. You can always use your hands, place it behind your thighs to help if you need to. One last one, and exhale, coming back up. And relax. Flip your tummies onto the ground, and let's come into a stretch for those abs. But what I want you to do is to keep your upper and lower teeth touching. This will help you get a better stretch for your abs, right? So option 1, I need you to rest on your elbows and look up towards the ceiling. Option 2, follow me. We're going to slide our hands next to our ribs. Press up and then look up. All right, so you can just sag your hips down towards the ground, sag your knees down towards the ground at this point. I just want to feel the stretch in your abdominals. So everybody look up towards the ceiling for another 2 more breaths. And just 1 more breath. And very slowly sit back on your heels once again into child's pose. Now before I leave you for another break once again, okay, don't forget we have a 3rd segment. Before I let you go on for another water break and to towel down, I do want to remind you that these are things that you can do every single day and never to feel like you have to hold your breath to do the movements. Once you do, you're not doing yoga anymore. All right, take a rest, slow it down, go for an easier option or a baby movement, a baby version of what we're doing if you need to. Now everybody very slowly roll yourselves to come back up and then take a seat. So take a sip of water in a short while, right, before I take you on to the Zen part of today's practice. Right, so I'll see you back in a moment. Welcome back. I hope you guys had a really good sip of water and managed to cool down a bit, because now we're going into your Zen segment of today's practice, right? It's all about balance, isn't it? Okay, so we can't just always be doing, high intensity stuff. You have to make sure that you're doing other things as well to help you be able to sustain a more high intensity practice, right? So this is the part where I find more balance, right? We're going to be doing more stretching here, but the way you breathe is also going to be fairly different. You breathe in a way that helps us to feel relaxed and calm. So before we go into this next segment, right, I'd like you to change the way you breathe here and try to stay in tune with that depth and that speed of breathing as well, right? So we did this at the beginning of today's practice. We're going to be doing it again now. So you can sit regular cross-legged, you can sit with one leg on top of the other, or like I mentioned earlier, you can go into your diamond leg sit as well. Whichever helps you to feel tall so that you're not rounding your backs and slouching and collapsing around the ribs when you're breathing here. Alright, so hands resting on your knees or on your thighs, shoulders relaxed, facial muscles are also relaxed. And we're going to go into that counting of 4, but this time I want to add in a breath hold as well. So it's going to be a 4 in, a 4 hold, and a 4 out. Okay, so we're going to repeat that 4 times together. If it really causes you too much discomfort to breathe so slowly and deeply, it does take time to get used to it. If you can only do 2 rounds nicely, just stay breathing regular, normal breathing for the next 2 rounds. And it's okay. Alright, relax your shoulders. Let's begin. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Normal breathing, in and out through your nose. When you close your eyes, imagine that you are relaxing by a very beautiful beach. Nobody else around, just really calm waves, beautiful sky, not hot at all, you don't feel too warm. And we're going to extend both legs out. Option 1, I like you to keep your knees bent, and all you need to do is just fold your chest towards your thighs here. Option 2, straighten both legs out. Toes point towards you. Dorsiflex your feet. Arms extending up. Everybody, let's lean forwards and down now. So whether you are in option 1 or option 2, let's come into a forward fold. Now if you can grab hold of your feet like I am, I'd like you to pull and bring your chest closer towards your thighs and your head in the direction of your feet. Now we're going to hold it there for another 4. And just feeling that stretch along the back of your thighs, the length of your spine. Now the moment that you feel pain in your lower back, I would like you to back off, right? So I need you to just make sure that you feel the stretch and not the strain and not the pain. Pain is not normal. Okay, it's your body's way of telling you something is wrong. One more breath. So just take your time to get there if you need to. And very slowly, I'm going to come back up. So I'm going to counter that with an opening across the front side of the body this time. Let's everybody sweep our legs towards the back and come onto our knees. Now for those of you who have delicate knees, please have your towel padding under your knees, or again, fold up your mat. Okay, so I have very fleshy knees, so not an issue for me. We're going to have our knees hip-width distance apart here, and I like you to tuck your toes, right? So toes onto the ground, heels up. We're going to have our feet and our knees hip-width distance. Now watch me first, don't follow me yet. Option 1, I'm going to have you just support the back of your hips. Now notice where I'm pressing. I'm pushing against the bony part, not just up high here, but pushing the hips forwards, right, as I try to look up towards the ceiling. So already at this point, you're going to feel that stretch across the front side, right? Especially with all the bolts that we just did earlier. This is a really nice stretch to open across the front side, right? So option 2, if you guys can, I'd like you to reach for your ankles, right? So once you can get a hold of your ankles, you're going to try to look back at the same time, right? So to come back up, hands support the hips, and then slowly coming back. We're going to stay there for 8 breaths, right? So if you need to come back any sooner, remember, sometimes for some of us, we do already start off with problems around our backs, and you may not be able to stay there for 8 reps to begin with. A more regular practice will correct other issues before you'll be able to do some other poses with a lot less discomfort. But for a start, let's see how long you can hold without holding your breath, without experiencing pain. So if you need to come out of the pose before the rest of us, immediately go straight into your child's pose. Right, so pick the options, they are there. Right? I won't know how you feel, but I can only give you options that you can take sensibly, right? So let's begin. Hands behind the hips. Option 1, you're going to press your hips forwards and look up. Option 2, follow me. Hands are going to reach back for your ankles, grasp onto them, and then look back. We'll stay here for another 7, and just feel that stretch across the front side of your body. 6, 5, breathe towards where you feel the stretch. 4, across the front side of your torso. 3, and this is a back bend. 2, counters the effect of what we do to our spines on a regular basis, which is slouching. All right, slowly, hands onto the hips. We're going to take our time to come back up. Point your feet. Take a seat. Hips down towards the heels. Arms reach forwards. And lower your forehead towards the ground. Breathe. And stay here for 4 more breaths. So all these back bending and now coming into a child's pose, and then repeating movements like that really does help to lubricate the joints around the spine. But like I mentioned earlier, those of you with pre-existing issues, please be cautious, right? You probably need to create a bit more space between the spine first before you can safely do these movements, right? And then very slowly roll yourselves to come back up. We're going to come onto our knees, but we're going to take one baby step back. So the next position that I'm going to take you into is going to stretch the hip flexors, right? So those of you who suffer from lower back pain, I do encourage you to do this every single day, a few times a day, right? Again, padding under your knees if you need to. Have a chair handy or a wall nearby, okay, so that you can support yourselves, because this might require a bit more balance, especially for those of you who have problems coming low enough in your low lunge, right? Hands are on the hips. If you need to, hold the wall already. Right foot is going to step forwards. I'm going to wiggle my toes so that my foot can come further forwards. Now notice, if it is too close to me, and the moment I shift my hips forwards, I'm barely feeling any stretch at all, and I can barely move forwards at all. So a big enough step is necessary in order for you to lower your hips enough to the point where you feel the stretch to the front of your left hip, or whichever leg is behind, you're going to feel that stretch across the front of that hip. So if you can, you're going to wiggle the foot forward some more and lower the hips further. Now look at the shape of my spine. I'm not dumping pressure onto my lower back here. Okay, so I'd like you to maintain a little bit of a baby crunch. You don't have to exert too much. And just lower your hips closer towards the front heel, in the direction of your front heel. All right, and then just breathe in a way that helps your body to relax. Like I mentioned earlier, your breathing is the only visceral function that you can control. Use it to help take your body into a more calm state. The power of our breath is really underestimated, right? We don't use it enough. Try to make it a practice to use your breath to help guide your body and your mind into a more relaxed state, especially when you get frustrated, right? So calm down, breathe. You're going to find it really makes a huge difference, and it's really that easy, okay? But it gets a lot easier with practice. And we're going to very slowly shift our weight backwards, slide the right leg back in, left leg this time round. Step it in. How long you stay? 8 breaths at least if you can. The longer you stay, the better the stretch. But for a start, you have to start slow, right? Because if you stay there for too long, all of a sudden, you're going to find that you have difficulty coming back, right? It's what we call the rebound effect. Really good, not just for the muscles, but also for your joints, right? So if you can stay longer, your connective tissue, your ligaments, your tendons, your fascia, actually get a much better stretch from this as well. Right? And hold it there for another 3 deep breaths. Just allow the body to sink down with each subsequent breath that you're taking. 2, it doesn't happen right at the start, right? Your body does tend to come into a more reactive state where it doesn't want to injure itself. So the moment you go into a stretch, let's take a step back. It does tense up somewhat, right? And then come down onto both heels and take a seat. So melt into the stretches. Ease yourself into the stretches. It does become easier over time. It's not going to happen the first time you try it. We're going to come into a bridge pose this time round. All right. Hang on. I'm going to just go into recline pose first. I'm going to stretch the quads, right? So that's one muscle that we tend to use a lot when we're doing our standing poses. So we are still seated here, but I'd like you to position yourselves a little closer towards the front of your mat first. Now this will not be very comfortable for some of you, especially if you have knee issues, right? There are two choices here. One is a half, right? So you can have one leg out this way. I'm going to have you bend your left leg. Try this out first. If this is already very difficult for you, you do not follow me into option 2. This is option 1, reclining hero. I'm going to have the right leg extending forwards. Now the area that we're going to stretch is the front of your thigh. You're going to feel it to your knee as well. And for some of you, the ankle even. Right? So if you have existing issues, injuries, it's going to be difficult because there's a lot of scar tissue. So you just do it to your best ability, and you can even increase the angle a little bit as well. Right? Now watch. Left leg bend, right leg straight. I'm going to start to lean my body back. Hands reach back as well. Fingers are pointing towards the front. Right? Now if this is too much for you already, stay here. If you can, we're going to come down onto the elbows. And if you can, we're going to come down onto your back. Stay here if this is enough for you, right? Now for those in option 2, to come up, watch first, yeah? Don't follow me. Those of you staying down here, just continue to stay down. To come up, you're going to press down onto your elbows. Watch, I'm going to hold onto my ankle and my thigh. I'm going to press down on my elbows, tuck my chin in. I'm going to roll myself up while still propping myself on my elbows, hand down, and that's how I'll come up. Option 2, follow me now. Both legs are bent this way, right? And then I'm going to lean back. So hands, elbows, back. And then if you can, hands onto opposite elbows. Option 2, peeps, stay here for another 6 more deep breaths. Now those of you who were in hero pose option 1, reclining hero pose option 1, we're going to go onto the other side now for the next 4 breaths. So come up with me, remember, elbow, hand, push yourselves up. So we're going to switch sides now. Right leg stays bent, left leg stays straight. Option 2, guys, you stay there for another 4 more breaths, right? We're going to come onto our elbows for the option 1, peeps, switching over, and then onto your backs, and then stay right there for another 3. So good for the thighs, for the knees, 2. And just 1 more deep breath here. I'm just natural breathing right here, right? So just relax as much as you can because it's going to be so good for your joints. The moment muscles can switch off, your joints can actually have a better stretch, right? Now I'm going to press down on the elbows for option 1 and option 2. Prop yourselves up and then push to come up to a sit. Both legs towards the front. Even so, there might be a rebound effect for many of you already. Okay? Now I'm going to have my feet placed hip-width distance apart. Everybody just sit here first and watch, right? Because the moment you lie down, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to watch. Now I'm going to come into my bridge pose by lowering myself down onto the ground. I'm going to walk my feet in closer towards me. I'm going to have my toes point towards the front of the mat, right? I know you can't see, but just feel, all right? Toes point towards the front. I'm going to lift my hips up. And in the moment that my hips are up, if you can grab hold of your ankles, you grab hold of your ankles. If you cannot, watch. You're going to walk your shoulders closer towards the midline, towards the center. Interlock your fingers and press your palms against one another. Chin towards the chest. I want you to feel that pressure to the front of your neck, and there's more blood flow to the face as well. Right? Stay right there for 6 more breaths. Everybody hold it there. The benefits of you holding your bridge pose is obviously more blood flow to the upper extremities, but it is also so good for helping to stretch the back of the neck, where many of us suffer from neck syndrome, right? So as you tuck your chin in towards your chest, you should feel that stretch along the back of your neck. All right, just 1 more breath here for everyone. And then very slowly take your arms out to the sides so that you can now lower your hips down towards the ground. Hug your knees in towards your chest and just gently rocking side to side, side to side. We're going to do a bit of a twist here right now. So everybody, can you just have your arms extending out to the sides? Now we're going to shift our hips, just give it a swing, all right? Swing your hips to the right side, okay, of your mat. You're going to keep your knees bent and just lower both legs down towards your left side. Some of you will have your knees moving further away from your left arm. If that is the most that you can do your spine twist, right, then so be it. Just stay there. If you can, raise your knees up higher in the direction of your left arm. Now, if you can still go further, I'd like you to straighten that top leg and just use your left hand, hold onto your ankle or your calf. Now, everybody, turn your gaze towards your right hand. Where you should feel the stretch is through your low back, more on one side than the other, towards the right side. And for some of you who have a lot of tightness on the outside of your hips, your thighs, your hip, your low back, you're gonna feel a lot to the outside of your thighs and your hips as well. Right? So hold it there for another 3. Spine twist. 2. And 1 more breath. And very slowly bend that top leg if it's straight. Bring both legs back towards the center. Now this time we're going to swing our hips towards your left side. And then let's drop both legs down towards the ground. And then top leg, if you can, straighten it out. Exactly the same thing on this other side. Look towards your left arm, look towards your left hand. I'm going to hold it there for another 5. And 4. 3, quietly observing how you are breathing here. 2, sometimes when it's too intense a stretch, 1 more breath. We tend to hold our breath. Make sure you are not doing that. And then very slowly, bend that top leg. Bring both legs back towards the center. Hug your knees in, gently rocking side to side. And then I'm going to have you slowly straighten out, 1 leg at a time. Now for those of you who have trouble lying down on your backs with your legs outstretched this way, please bend your knees, feet wide apart, and drop your knees in towards the center. This doesn't require any effort from your legs once your knees drop into the middle. I'd like you to have your arms resting alongside the frame of your body, and then chin tucked in slightly closer towards the chest. Staying here, close your eyes. Those of you who can have your legs outstretched straight for Shavasana, please do that. Flop your feet in and out, and then just stay in a position where you will not need to fidget for the next couple of minutes. Everybody close your eyes. I'd like you to just focus your attention on your breathing. Stay right there. So you're going to be holding it here for the next couple of minutes and just listen to what I'm saying with the breathing, right? Breathing now becomes natural, but I'd like you all to focus on the gentle rise and the fall of your belly and your chest. The way we breathe here is going to help us to calm down a lot further. So this is the time at the end of your practice where you reap in the most benefits. And this is also the part where many people skip, so don't, right? Allow your eyes, your face, your forehead, your jaws to soften. Do a quick scan from head to shoulders to arms, to chest, to ribs, to hips, to thighs and knees, ankles and feet. Where you still feel unnecessary tension, heaviness, tightness, I want you to use your imagination. Imagine guiding that breath, that tension or that heaviness or what does not serve you. It can be something that's mental as well or emotional, something that you don't have to hang on to. Imagine breathing it out and dispersing it into the atmosphere. Just let it go. Repeat that for 2 more breaths. Inhaling through the nose. Draw your attention to where you need to guide something out. And as you exhale, imagine just breathing it out and letting it go into the atmosphere. 1 more breath just like this. The power of the mind is something that we don't use enough of either, like our breathing. And then as you exhale, let go of what does not serve you, that heaviness, that tightness, tension. We're going to try to keep our eyes closed. Of course, this is something that you can do on your own for 5, 10 minutes. At the end of the day, I think that's perfect before you go to sleep. You go to sleep with a lighter head. You wake up feeling a lot more rested as well. We're going to keep our eyes closed, and everybody just extend your right arm up and back like you're swimming a backstroke in slow motion. And then bend both knees as you turn towards your left side, laying your head on your arm like it's a small firm pillow. You're going to place your right hand on the ground and push into the floor to slowly guide yourself back up into a comfortable cross-leg sit. Keep your eyes closed at this point. You're going to bring both hands together with your palms touching. Start to rub your palms vigorously, gathering some heat between them. You're going to place it over our face. Don't touch your face. All right, and then slowly open your eyes and just feel the warmth just bathing your eyes, soothing your eyes. And then very slowly return your hands to heart center. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this morning once again. I hope you had a very good practice with me. And there are other things coming up, like I mentioned earlier. So do check out Get Active TV. They have their schedule on Facebook as well if you're not too sure. So do look out for things that you can join us for. And I look forward to having you all joining me again next week. Have a beautiful day ahead. Bye-bye.